Hi, welcome to how to set up the loom. I recommend using a spinner for the spool. You can print. There's many on printables. So this is a medium 4 cotton yarn. You will have to put it in the first. I start from the right since you know the shaft 1 and 2 are from left to right. So I recommend making 3 knots because you don't want it to unlock while you are weaving. So I'm going to show the other side. We don't need the pushy thing, so I'm going to put it aside. You're gonna need to line it up with the first notch on the left. Use the hook that needs to be printed. It needs to be aligned on the other side. You'll see on the other side is going to be staggered with the other shafts, since they will lift different threads at different time, so you can weave. So now all you have to do, I'm getting up. I use the water bottle to hold the thread. You can just lay it on top for the moment. I'm gonna set things up to show the next part. Alright, now I'm ready. So now you need to pull the thread. Just make sure you're not pulling the thread that is attached to the pulling the pull bar. Now you see you have 2 pieces of threads, so you have to skip the next one. You're threading only the first shaft, but you will use a part of the thread that the thread that you're passing right now is going to be used for two row of thread. So the one and the first and the second. Now as I'm pulling the second loop, that's the thread for the third and the fourth. And do not forget to pass the thread around the pull bar. If you do not do that, I'm going to show you later what it does. It's going to make a distinct kind of knot behind the second shaft. I'm going to show you later. So now all you have to do is repeat. You skip a row. You do that. And the thing not to forget, it goes over. So it's over, under, till you do all the rows. 1 pass, 2 row. So you are always skipping a row, hole, space. I don't know how to say it. And you see now I'm showing you the way you're gonna drop the thread around the bottle needs to always be on the same side. Always. This will prevent knots and entanglement for later. Now I'm gonna show you what happened when you don't go over. Now, as it's zoomed in, you can clearly see that I'm skipping a row every time I pass a loop. And then I drop it on the water bottle. Now it's time to fast forward. Now that you have complete this tedious task, now it's time to tidy up the threads. Make sure the tension is all good around. And you're gonna make a big, beautiful knot just to make sure it doesn't. That serves the purpose of not getting all the threads tangled, and it helps to crank up the threads around the back beam, as I'm gonna show you. You make multiple knots along the threads, that helps to maintain a good tension, because tension is your ally here. All right, the better tension, the better your threads are, like, tidy and in the right place. It will make it easier to wind the threads, to weave. It will really help you weave, because if you have threads that are not as tight as the others, when you're gonna pull the lever up, they're not gonna follow. They're gonna stay down, and you don't want that, because it's gonna make your pattern look wonky. You know, you'll have threads pulling at some places, even holes if it's really loose. So make sure that you get your tension right. You don't have to be crazy, but a good tension is gonna be your ally. So let's go, big man. On with it. All right, now next step is to cut the end. Yeah, I know, it's scary. It scares me every time I do it. You just have to make a tight, a straight cut. Anyway, the threads, you're gonna waste around 5 to 6 inches, so around 15 to 20 centimeter to set up the front and the back. So around 40 centimeter max. No, 20 inch. So now the moment of truth. Let's cut this baby up. Oh no! Alright. Now you can just drop it down. Because you don't need that part anymore. Because you're going to pull. You're going to hold the threads and pull. So make sure the tethered are, you know, in the right place. They're not pulling like not. They have to be pulling straight. All right. You're gonna hold the threads with one end. And now I'm gonna show you the right way to turn and the wrong way to turn. All right. So that's the right way. It's supposed to go in front. I'm going to show you later why. If you're pulling that way, when you're going to move your piece in the front, the lock is not going to keep the tension. Now that way is counter the front. It counters the front. I know it's counterintuitive, but you're gonna see. Now you take one divider. Once you have passed the pull bar, you can insert your first divider. This will help to keep the tension so the threads won't go won't be stuck, you know, beside others. So it's all about the tension. It's all about the tension. It's all about the tension. All right. So every time you pass a divider, you put another one. All right. So make sure you have enough. If you don't have enough, that's okay. You can take a cereal box and, you know, cut pieces of the same length, same. Some people use paper. They just roll paper around the beam between the threads. So every time you get close to a nut you've made in the front part, make sure you have tension. You undone the knot, and you keep going till you get to the end. And I won't say it enough. Tension is the key. All right. All the tension you're not gonna put in your piece right now is gonna show up on your work. But you're gonna get better at it. Just don't lose hope. It's a nice thing to do. It's something that, you know, lots of people, young and old, you know, that it's something that, I don't know, we're losing. People don't share as much as they did before, or time. And it's something that drives me. And I'm making my own charcuterie, and build stuff. So I think it's important to pass it down to the next generation. I do some sewing. It's fun. The old ways. The old ways are not always the good ways, but I think learning something that could, I don't know, be considered vintage nowadays. If there's a zombie invasion, you're gonna be ready to make you new clothes. Yeah, and I'm gonna be a part of that. So, all right, we're towards the end. It is so close. All right. Okay. You need to leave a bit on the other side. Okay. Just you need to, uh, divide them and make sure they're on the right track. And not only on the right track, but on the right right row. As you'll see, I'm gonna separate them. I'm gonna show you now. If you see, they are one over the other. Now they're okay, and now they're crossing. They're not supposed to be crossing. All right. So the white one goes in the first, and the green one goes in the second row. So the second lever. I'm going to take my hook, pass it in the right space. Now we have thread 1, thread 2. Next, you're going to have thread 3, thread 4. Now everything is lining up at the beam and at the rows. The threads are not supposed to cross each other. All right. Next, we're gonna pass it through the. Now we're gonna pass it through the Hedle. That's the one that's moving. It's for. I made a little arrow. If you've seen on your print, there's an arrow. The arrow is the middle of the piece. I will show you how you can use the arrow to make a different size of patterns. So the thing is, when you if you want to make a piece that less, you can make pieces, of 3 rows of threads, or it's called the threads around the beam. Right now is the warp. Okay, the warp can be 6-inch wide. It can be 2-inch wide. 3, 4. It depends on what you are making. So you will, yeah. So you can put a thread to put a marker but it's always needs to be centered in the middle. Again, tension. Now I'm gonna pass every thread through the Hedle. Yeah, all the way. Every thread. I'm gonna show you. It is. This part is kind of simple. It's just you're gonna get better at it, faster. I'm gonna not bad right now. I am no expert, but I'm trying at least. I can't say I did it a lot, but you know what they say: practice makes perfect. It's the aim that you need. So, every thread. Every thread counts. So, talking about count, you need to count from the middle every thread you have. You have to split it in two and make sure they're straight in the middle. I could have let I could have draw more length from the warp because it's harder, and I won't be able anyway to make the nuts at the pull bar. I call it the pull bar. I have no idea how it's called, but you know what you mean. You know what I mean. Yeah. These one will be okay. You have to pass it over, and it's going to be. You'll see. You'll see. No. All right. Last one. All right. Let's go. All right. Okay. Now you need to. What did I say? Tension. All right. So now I'm gonna place the beam in the right place to be able to make the nuts. All right, that looks good. All right. Now you remember the arrow? The arrow represents the middle. So you take 2 strands of thread from each side of the arrow. So that makes 4 threads. And you will do that sequence from the middle to the on each side after that till you get to the end. Why you start in the middle? Thank you, you asked. It's to make sure that the tension is perfect. So if you start in the middle, you already have the middle tension. So I'm gonna make I'm gonna make only one knot. I'm gonna make it tight, but one knot, just to make sure I can tidy it up a little bit more after. Okay. The thing with a simple knot, you can pull in front. Now I'm gonna show you another thread. 4. And now under, and then each side. You have to keep the right on the right and left on the left. Do not cross it behind. Alright, you see? Now I'm gonna place it better so you can see a little better. Alright. Now you have to make sure that the strands that you are making a knot of, it needs to be lined up with the thread. They have to be more, the metal strands need to be straight. So double knot. Now that it's done, yeah, make sure they are straight. Now you can tidy. You're gonna make the other side. Alright. I have big hands and big fingers, so that's not that's not easy to do. I can tell you. I managed, but it's, you know, when you have smaller hands, it's better. Now I can, you know, give it a little go to the middle again. Make sure it's really, really tight. Right? Now it's time to do the all the rows. Now you'll end up, if you make a full row, you will end up with two threads on each side. Do not worry, make the same knot. It's okay. No need to panic. It's the same thing. Right? Both end, I make 3 knot. Just to make sure. You could make 3 knot to all the strand. But, you know, I was kind of lazy, so. All right. Now you can leave it there, or you can, yeah. Make sure that everything is straight. That is key. So now you can cut the longer part. You don't have to. You can leave it that way, but I like it better. Like when you're a perfectionist, you kind of have to make everything tidy. Even if it's not, you try your best. Yeah. So that's what I was talking about. You can the the lock in the back. Uh, that's for maintaining the tension and make sure it doesn't unravel. All right. So now that you have the space needed to pass a piece of thread. All right. Now I'm going to show you how to start. All right. You're going to take a piece of strand. You can take, it just have to be a loop. You're going to pass it through with the two strand on one side. Now you're going to push it a little. And this will help you to at the end it's gonna help you. It's gonna give you space to make your knots. If you want a piece of thread that hangs, in French we call it frange. En anglais, in English I have no idea. Fringe, maybe. So the reason why you pass two piece of threads in a loop on the same side, it does not lock the thread. Okay. So you will be able to, I'm going to show you in a second. You're going to be able to pull that threads, and your piece is going to stay the same, but you're going to have extra thread to make your knots, to complete your beautiful artistic piece of garment. So I think it's gonna be there. No? Yeah? Alright. Now you're gonna see. I'm giving it tension. Yeah. At the beginning, you need to tab a little harder, just to make it really straight. Now you'll see I'm gonna pull the thread, and it will unravel. Alright? So this will give you the space you need to make your knots, to close your piece. Or you could leave it there and go on your sewing machine and make a zigzag stitch and cut the extra part. Or if you have extra divider, you could put two piece of divider. Now that I already have the thread I can pull and the divider, I can start weaving. So thank you for watching, and have fun as I did to make this. Bye bye.